you need to listen. Please turn off your cell phones or I will tell my mommy.
Join me on a journey to the sun, not meant for the faint-hearted ones. A terrifying ride, but on the other side, there's life beyond the journey to the sun.
Just how hard should it be to have a little baby? It should be the easiest, simplest, most effortless thing in the world. Stork deliveries abound. I mean, just look at all those little babies out there. You see them clinging to the hips and modern-day apron strings of teens not yet equipped to take on that responsibility. So it should have been easy, simple, and effortless for me to get my baby, right? I mean, after all, I was in my 30s and settled down and finally emotionally and financially secure. But nobody ever said life or making a life would be easy. I shouldn't weep too much for myself, though. I mean, I know it's a very complex thing becoming a parent, and I'm not alone on that journey. I have gay male friends who would give their right arm to be a mommy. And I have a female friend who is single who decided to get pregnant twice via donor sperm. But my karma must have run over my dogma, to quote the late Roger Miller, because a funny thing happened on the way from here to maternity. So here is my true life tale of what felt like riding a hurricane, but finding a brilliant shining sun at the end of the storm.
Join me on a journey to the soul, a place where merely mortals rarely go. Down subconscious streams, life is but a dream that happens on a journey to the soul. Join me on a journey to the sun.
It all begins with a germ, an idea, a longing, a seed of thought that is watered with the energy of desire and grows into a reality. But there's also an element of mystery at play. Sometimes things transpire in ways completely beyond our imagination, like falling asleep with a baby notion and waking up in a technicolor strange new world where fears hide like scary trees in haunted woods, where your wildest dreams could come true with a click of the heels, but in a different way than you ever would have originally conceived. It was spring of 2004, and my husband Jim and I were driving from our home outside of Nashville, Tennessee to the Washington, D.C. suburb of Rockville, Maryland for fertility treatments. We were embarking on our first try at in vitro fertilization, or as it is more commonly called, IVF. Looking out the car window as the Shenandoah Mountains rolled slowly by, I reflected on everything that brought us to this point. We had a love at first sight kind of chance meeting, the Nashville girl via LA and New York, and the Jersey boy living in Manhattan. We long distance dated for a year, lived in the city together, had a fairy tale marriage, complete with toast for a fruitful marriage. We then found ourselves among the 4.9 million in America affected by infertility. We couldn't believe that our only hope for having a biological child was to do IVF with ICSI. Sorry. Before we do this little in vitro fertilization ditty, I just wanted to say how much fun I had writing all these songs for each chapter of my book about becoming a parent with my brother from another mother, Mr. Don Henry, Grammy winner Don Henry. And we had so much fun putting all these terms in that we wouldn't normally write about, because these fertility terms ain't exactly country. And one of those terms is ICSI, which stands for, let me make sure I get this right, intracytoplasm sperm injection, which is a specific form of IVF where they actually take the sperm and inject it into the egg rather than waiting for them to kind of hook up on their own in the Petri dish. So, ladies and gentlemen, your infertility and fertility vocabulary word of the day, ICSI. Can you believe it's come to this? To conceive without a kiss, following our blissfulness to the land of Oz. Hunt some eggs, grab a dish, a sleight of hand, make a wish, create some little ICSI chicks in the land of Oz. A sperm, an egg, an embryo, a heart, a brain, a happy home. Click your heels and cross your toes in the land of Oz. Just you and me and a specialist of obstetrics puts the blastocyst in my uterus. I hope it sticks in the land of Oz. A sperm, an egg, an embryo, a heart, a brain, a happy home. Click your heels and cross your toes in the land of Oz. Everybody! A sperm, an egg, an embryo, a heart, a brain, a happy home. Click your heels and cross your toes in the land of Oz. Now that was fun. How often can you sing about sperm with a few friends? Having recently decided to become a mother myself, I had begun to think long and hard about my relationship with my own mother. And not long after my parents, D-I-V-O-R-C-E, all I've had to go on are memories. You know, I can still see her in this 70s style t-shirt with the motto that proudly proclaimed, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. I can't help but find it ironic now. Meant to be light and amusing, I think there was some truth in those words for her. One therapist suggested that I grow a mother. And it made me think of those novelty items that when, you know, like the grow a best friend or grow a boyfriend things that when you put them in water, they grow to be like 10 times their size. But I think what she meant was that I needed to learn to be a mother to myself. And I liked that idea and worked on self-nurturing, but never quite got the hang of it. I suppose what my therapist meant was that I just needed to grow that mother within. And I suppose to grow a mother, one could conjure up an image of the perfect mother within. A TV mom baking chocolate chip cookies in your soul. Someone who would make rainy day crafts with you to keep the blues away. Or a goddess-like earth mother who embraced you with open arms, the vines of her ivy-crowned wreath, and golden hair flowing around you like a blanket. The woman whose cool and gentle touch on your forehead when you didn't feel well assured you it would all be okay. I hoped that healing my non-existent relationship with my own mother, who disappeared when I was an adolescent, might perhaps spur a metamorphosis from a wounded 14-year-old girl to a well-rounded, proud, and fertile woman. I pray to the Mother Goddess of fertility and abundant love. Plant the seed inside of me, make me who I'm supposed to be, growing a mother. Heal my heart and open soul. Hold my hand and don't let go. Help me find what isn't there, creating magic from thin air. Growing a mother. I don't know if she understood the joy and pain of motherhood. So I'm making it up as I go along, writing the words as I sing this song. Growing a mother. Pray to the Mother Goddess of fertility and abundant love. Plant the seed inside of me, make me who I'm supposed to be. Heal my heart and open soul. Hold my hand and don't let go. You know I never understood the joy and pain of motherhood. So I'm making it up as I go along, writing the words as I sing the song. I pray to the Mother Goddess of fertility and abundant love. For several weeks before we left on our fertility voyage, I'd been proving how much I wanted a baby. With every shot that went into my belly, injecting hormones to hopefully increase our chances at a pregnancy. With each twice daily stick of the needle, with each bee sting of the medication going into me, I affirmed, I want a baby, I want a baby. I'm willing to do all this for one. I'm worthy, I'm worthy. We arrived in Washington, D.C. during the National Cherry Blossom Festival, and a more bountiful display of spring and new life would be unimaginable. Spring, my season. Spring, new life. At the time, the potential mirror in nature escaped me. Blooms without, blooms within. We had done our work there at Fertility U, my little surgical procedures and Jim's tedious contribution. We joked about how the poor dear had to masturbate. And then we waited with bated breath at each new stage as we saw how many eggs they could harvest, how many eggs planted, and how many embryos continued to survive in the Petri dish. Then, finally, 2 embryos were implanted. After 24 hours of bed rest, we were free to go back to Nashville and wait the 10 days until we could take the fertility blood test.
Now we wait, now we wonder if a wish upon a star or thunder. Here's to us. Here we are, green with spring, and we're drunk on big dreams. Cherry blossoms brightly bloom. Well, it's lush and plush, and it needs you so much. Won't you stay in this waiting while we rest?
As we're napping,
Let's go deep and visualize a cozy nest where magic happens.
join us in this
paradise, green with spring, and we're drunk on big dreams. Cherry blossoms brightly bloom. Well, it's lush and plush, and it needs you so much. Won't you stay in this waiting womb? Well, we're green with spring, and we're drunk on big dreams. Cherry blossoms brightly bloom. Well, it's lush and plush, and it needs you so much. Won't you stay in this waiting womb? Won't you stay in this waiting womb?
The voicemail message from our fertility doctor's nurse, Angela, that would be saved indefinitely. Lauren, Jim, or should I say mom and dad? As you probably already know from all those home pregnancy tests you took, your fertility blood test is positive. Our first attempt at in vitro fertilization had worked, and we were over the moon excited for a while. We had spent our time thinking positive for a positive pregnancy test, and that came to pass. But soon our hopes for a viable pregnancy began to shrink along with my incompetent cervix, an unfortunate term that a man must have come up with.
Take the test, wait a while, hold your breath, sit and stare. Remember when we hope for nothing, now we pray there's something there. Read the lines, if there's one, get out the rum. But if there's two, we'll snuggle close and make a toast with a case of O-Do's. Thinking positive, la 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 la. I'm thinking positive, la 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 la. Get the call, it's a go. Feeling thrilled. Then the news, there's a glitch in competence, so now we're hit with the blues. Oh,
feeling scared.
feeling scared.
I negate that.
No, I negate that.
I really hate
I
that.
really hate
I
that.
feel this
I feel
way.
this way.
Hopes are shrinking.
Hopes are shrinking.
We're still thinking.
I'm still thinking.
Everything
The first trimester went fairly smoothly. Well, at least there was no morning sickness. But the chapters of my second and third trimester could only be called grounded and stoned. Now, I assure you this has nothing to do with marijuana usage during pregnancy, but rather it details 5 months of bed rest, which is the grounded part, excruciating gallstones, which is the stoned part, cerclage surgery, and preterm labor. So in other words, it was my pregnancy from hell limit. On the couch, off my feet, kicking back, hey, ain't this sweet? I'll write that book, learn to sew, kill some time with TV shows, grounded and stone, grounded and stone. I can't leave my home. I'm grounded and stone. Munchies come, cravings go, basking in my bloated glow. Gallstone pain, the stabbing kind, puts a cramp in bed rest time. Grounded and stone, grounded and stone. I can't leave my home. I'm grounded and stone. Climbing walls, steroid shot, a thread of hope is all I've got. Worry about that cerclage stitch, will it hold through Braxton Hicks? Grounded and stone, grounded and stone. I can't leave my home. I'm grounded and stone, grounded and stone. Well, our spirits lifted as the gallstones miraculously went away. They weren't supposed to, but thanks to juicing and Louise Hay, you never know. And I somehow made it to the point of viability in my pregnancy, and the bed rest was lifted. Things were looking up. We hoped that the delivery would be the easy reward for a pregnancy that was hard-earned and hard to keep.
A full-term pregnancy is 40 weeks. That would have been my due date of January 3rd. I was so close. On December 9th, our astrologically inclined dear family friend sent me an email with all the new and full moons coming up in the next few weeks because babies love these, she said. The earliest one on the list was December 11. I thought, that might be a little soon. Lavender oils fill the air, groovy music everywhere, turning this old birthing room into a dream. He'll have the most amazing birth, a gentle welcome to this earth. I planned it to be perfect, peaceful, and serene. The heartbreak drops, the loving stops. My head's a swimming, spinning like a top. Beulah, the doula, says bring your baby to you. Give me more of it, throw a little dabble to you. December 11 at 2:07, a new moon looms up heavy in the heavens. When he came out blue, we were two. The doctor said, go ahead, call NICU. Happy birthday, the best and worst day. Baby, your first day takes the cake. Happy birthday, I hope that someday this'll be a fun day to celebrate. Blood starts gushing, the staff starts rushing. What's going on? Why is everybody fussing? Another vital check, IV in the neck. Prepping me for surgery, I'm a nervous wreck. In the wide hallway, the chaplain starts to pray. Nurses were crying and I heard somebody say, the baby should recover, let's hope he has a mother. Hurry up, kiss your wife, tell her that you love her. Happy birthday, the best and worst day. Babe, your first day takes a cake. Happy birthday, I hope that someday this'll be a fun day to celebrate. Oh, happy birthday, the best and worst day. What a wild way to begin. It may sound crazy, but when I see you, baby, you know I'd do it all again. Lying there stunned and spent, I knew very little about my baby's well-being, except that he was born not breathing and had to be intubated. My hospital records tell me that 4 minutes after his birth, while the medical staff was still focused on trying to revive my precious baby, my blood pressure was 88/28 and my heart rate was 147. The records state that I was very shaky and not feeling well. Suddenly, even though I was numb from the waist down, I felt a whoosh sensation and instantly knew I was in trouble as the emergency staff rushed in. In the ICU the next day, the anesthesiologist told me that I was extremely lucky to be alive. My condition was usually diagnosed during autopsy. Wait, diagnosed during autopsy? When those grim words sunk in, they would sink hard. I had had an amniotic fluid embolism, which I learned is up to 90% fatal for the mom. It is a rare obstetric event in which amniotic fluid, fetal cells, hair, or other debris enters the mother's bloodstream, causing anaphylactic shock. AFE happens in 2 stages.
Part 1 is false proteins enter the bloodstream, bringing a real threat of cardiac arrest. For those who survive that stage, the second part involves DIC, when platelets drop, losing their ability to clot, which can result in a patient hemorrhaging to death. I was lucky. A full transfusion seemed to save the day, but learning of the bullet I had dodged felt like walking away from a plane crash. I longed to be with my baby. The holidays were fast upon us, and all I wanted was to be in our festive home, bonding with him, with both of us healthy and happy. But it was not yet meant to be. We would be in separate rooms in the hospital indefinitely. Seven days in the hospital for me and 10 days in NICU for my baby later, we got to bring him home just in time for Christmas. Our first night home, the light and lovely snow gave way to the beginnings of an ice storm. I was already freaked out about everything that had happened and concerned about my baby's safety, watching him breathe like a hawk, when the electricity went out. After 12 hours of huddling around a baby who had just gotten out of an incubator and was supposed to be kept in 70-degree weather, the lights finally came back on. This was the last straw that sent me into a whirlwind of anxiety and postpartum depression. Adjusting to a newborn is hard under normal circumstances. As I wrestled with my fears to feel like the good mother I knew I was deep down, we discovered that the baby had some reflux. He often cried as I tried to feed him. It was like we were wrestling as I tried to get him to nurse. It was not easy. He also spit up a lot, but don't all babies? Frazzled but determined, I kept reminding myself of the words of wisdom on his new Babies R Us bib. Spit happens. That's not gonna work. Guys?
You want me to hold your baby for you?
Well, no, you can't eat. Would somebody mind?
Just throw them over there.
Thank you so much. It's kind of hard to play guitar. Need to get the hang of that sling, don't I? That still wouldn't work with a guitar, though. What a way to stardom with postpartum. Spit happens. It's all ad lib, so grab your bibs. Spit happens. I pity the fool who can't take some drool. Life is a mess, so just do your best. Starry-eyed, but horrified. Spit happens. Time to clean our little poop machine because spit happens. Leave it to fate to regurgitate and dribble on you what your parents went through. Sex and passion are out of fashion. Spit happens. We'll make a date for when he graduates because spit happens. They say that we'll laugh at old photographs of belches and burps all over our shirts. The moon's peeping, we ain't sleeping. Spit happens. The day's dawning, we're yawning. there happened. Excuse me. After I got home from the hospital, my sister-in-law coincidentally met the mother of another AFE survivor at a nail salon in Jersey. She actually got the number from the mother for me. And a shaky 6 weeks past mine, I called a woman who was 6 months past her and past her complication and just arriving at the angry stage. If one more person tells me that there were angels in the room with me, she said, I am going to scream. The people with angels in the room had normal, easy deliveries and went home with their baby the next day. I totally understood where she was coming from. In the months after my baby's birth and in the aftermath of my near death, I was left with more spiritual questions than I'd ever had before, and I'd always had a lot. Excuse me while I get comfortable. In hindsight, there had been at least 2 experiences that you could call psychic phenomenon or divine intervention or just plain coincidence. But whatever you call them, these events seemed to help save me and my baby. I have always depended on the kindness of strangers, delivering me from the darkness of dangers, so I can see through all the strife, that maybe it is a wonderful life. Angels in the room, I'm listening for their tune, earthbound will fly around. All that I know is what I have found. Christian, pagan, I am taken in love that is real. Buddhist, Jewish, what if we knew it was supposed to the same wheel? I don't believe in nothing. I don't believe in nothing. No, I believe in something. Angels in the room. Angels in the room. Do I personally believe in angels? Well, I don't think that they have to be the traditional harp-playing sort. I found angels in the hearts of people I'd known for years, and in the deeds of absolute strangers. So yes, in my own way, I do believe there are angels in the room. Maybe I'm just in need of a Santa fantasy, a man with a wide beard to sit me up on his knee. But if that light is an illusion, then I'll just bask in my confusion. Angels in the room, I'm listening for their tune, earthbound will fly around. All that I know is what I have found. Christian, pagan, I am taken in love that is real. Buddhist, Jewish, what if we knew it was supposed to the same wheel? I don't believe in nothing. I don't believe in nothing. No, I believe in something. Angels in the room. Angels in the room. Angels in the room.
You know, it was always my intention to breastfeed. But for us, that Kodak moment of baby being born and brought to breast for immediate suckling was not meant to be. No immediate suckling for me and my duckling, but I had breast intentions. They say the road to hell is paved with them as well, but I got breast intentions. I'd rather hold him and drive than pump around the clock. I'm hating that invention, but each drop I'm told is like liquid gold. So I got breast intention. Breast intention. Breast intention. Ever since the dawn of man, woman's been the well in the promised land of breast intention. It took a while to catch on and finally latch on, but he had breast intentions. Now I got 2-hour feedings, parts of me are bleeding, some that I won't mention. The lack of this say, it's gotta be this way. They got breast intention. I feel guilty and crappy if mama ain't happy. Ain't nobody happy. Breast intention. Breast intention. Ever since the dawn of man, woman's been the well in the burning sands of breast intention. I feel like such a boo when my munchkin's not amused. He must feel the tension, but I'd do anything for him. You know I adore him, so I got breast intention. Breast intention. Breast intention. Ever since the dawn of man, woman's been the well in the promised land of breast intention. Breast intention. Ever since the dawn of man, woman's been the well in the burning sands of breast intention. No immediate suckling for me and my duckling, but I had breast intention. Well, you know, I always thought that I would be this Earth Mother. You know, the infant wearing, organic baby food making, blanket in the park laying sort. I think I had this image kind of romanticized in my head, like it was the superior way to mother, or the mother superior of nurturing, if you will. But my fears from childhood and childbirth, and my not always earthy taste, caused me to parent differently than I thought I would that first year. I figure that I'm more of a watered-down earth mother, which must make me a mud mama. And a mud mama is someone who has earth mother leanings, but kind of straddles that middle ground on some issues. It all started in high school. Hey, Dom. Say it, man. I was a hippie, preppy, super freak, a punk rock jock and a theater geek. Now I'm a parent, it's apparent. You still get labeled with an infant. Enough mother water down. There's a mud mama here in town.
Mud mama.
Online they poll you to see if you're granola. Not as much as I thought I'd be, I tell ya. Thought I'd be groovy and go with the flow, but I'm a big old stress ball, don't you know? An earth mother watered down. There's a mud mama here in town. Took my designer diaper bag and stroller to an attachment meeting, how bipolar. I tried my best to use my sling, but I never quite got the hang of the thing. An earth mother watered down. There's a mud
Mama.
so many parenting decisions, like vaccination, circumcision. They talk about separation anxiety, but the one who's got it, that is me. Enough mother watered down. There's a mud mama here in town. Enough mother watered down. There's a mud mama here in town. Can you be a feminist and still secretly wanna be called a MILF? You betcha. All right. It seems that for the first year of my baby's life, I hopscotched from one earth-shattering worry to the next. Would he stop breathing in the night? Would everything be okay after my complication? Why doesn't he cry? And then later, why does he cry so damn much? I was peeved at first when my pediatrician asked me if I was paid by the hour to worry, but he was right. My worry machine was working overtime, and it wasn't doing me or my baby any good. You know, I decided that perhaps the warrior women throughout history could help with this war on worry I was waging. These warriors exist in reality or myth in virtually every culture. Joan of Arc, the real Milan, Lady Godiva. Brash and bold pirate princesses wielding swords on the high seas. Amazon women, women gladiators. Yes, I'm a peace lover, but I needed balance. No woman ever makes history being polite, and no woman ever becomes a strong mom by freaking out. So thanking my mythological sisters, I stepped into the spotlight of what I hoped would be a self-fulfilling prophecy. I pictured myself
high on a mountaintop, the cliffs of adversity far below me now. It is sunrise, and I'm standing in the proud warrior pose, my little golden-haired 4 or 5-year-old mini me of the future standing beside me. Scared to death, counting breaths, so afraid of losing you. I'm afraid I lose the moment too. But I'd rather have 15 minutes of fabulous than a lifetime of nothing special, I guess. It's time to grow. So here I go. From warrior to warrior, won't let the fear control us anymore. Now I am on a mountaintop, my hair is blowing in the wind. I've got passion's arrow poised, my feet are grounded, digging in. Hear my peaceful battle cry, namaste. I'll fight in a non-violent way. Namaste, namaste, hey, namaste, namaste, hey, namaste. A fearless lioness who guards a nest, but I'll trust my little brood. Let me give my strength to you, protect you with every breath I take, respect you, let you make your own mistakes. I love you so, I'll let you grow. From warrior to warrior, won't let the fear control us anymore. Now we are on a mountaintop, our hair is blowing in the wind. We've got passion's arrow poised, our feet are grounded, digging in. Hear our peaceful battle cry, namaste. We'll fight in a non-violent way, namaste. Namaste, hey, namaste, namaste, hey, namaste. With every day that passed beyond our traumatic beginning, and with the blossoming of my little boy's precious personality, I was reminded that he really was here and doing great. As my son's light melted away my trepidation, the mother I wanted to grow into began to emerge. One day you catch your reflection going down the escalator at a mall, stroller expertly folded in one hand, diaper bag on one hip, baby on the other, and you think, I really am a mom. My baby was turning 1 and was truly beautiful inside and out. Close your eyes, have no fear. The monster's gone, he's on the run, and your mommy's here. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Beautiful boy, before you go to sleep, say a little prayer. Every day, in every way, it's getting better and better. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Out on the ocean, sailing away, I can hardly wait to see you come of age. But I guess we'll both just have to be patient, 'cause it's a long way to go, a hard road to hoe. Yes, it's a long way to go, but in the meantime, before you cross the street, take my hand. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. In January, on an unseasonably warm day, after our little boy's first birthday, I strolled him through the park, enjoying the pleasant sunshiny weather. I loved the kinder climate, but it struck me that without a harsh winter, the first day of spring might not seem quite as sweet. And so it is with life. The lows make the highs higher. We had been to Oz and back, and we were still waking up from the dream. But we couldn't be any happier with, or any more thankful for, this incredible little miracle boy with the nickname Doc. Beautiful, 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 beautiful boy. Darling, 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 darling son. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt North on the drums. Don Henry.
Lauren Braddock.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Chris and Mariana Clark here at the theater. Thank you so much for making this all possible. Yes. And Jim Havey on the slides. I'm Lauren. Thank you so much for joining us today.